This is the Voice Caddie SL3. It costs $599. This is the Voice Caddie SL2. It is almost identical, and you can currently get it for $259. Is it actually the insane value that it seems like it is? Keep watching, let's find out. So I'm just gonna cut to the chase real quick. The SL2, right now at $259, might be the single best value in the history of golf rangefinders. I don't say that lightly, and it's not a perfect device, but for what you get for the price, there's simply nothing else on the market that comes close. So today, I'm gonna give you a full review of this. We're gonna talk about what makes it so great. We're gonna talk about why that price is what it is. We're gonna talk about how it compares to this, the SL3, but also we're gonna talk about how it compares to the TL1, which has been my pick for best overall rangefinder for most people this year. So if you're in the market for a pro-level, feature-heavy golf rangefinder, you're going to want to watch today's video. Also, just so you know, if you click any of the links below, I will get a commission. To be clear, I do not care whether or not you buy any of these products at all. My whole goal here is to help you find the right products for your needs, so I'm going to give you my honest feedback based on my experiences with all of these products. Okay, let me give you some quick backstory so you understand a little bit about this opportunity, for lack of a better term. So I've been reviewing golf rangefinders for the last year. I have reviewed dozens of them. And very rarely do I ever say, this is the best product for most people. Usually it's like, this is the best for this need, this is the best for this need. Very rarely do I say, this is the best overall for 90% of the population. Well, this year, that's what I did with this, the Voice Caddie TL1. When I initially reviewed this about 2 years ago, it was $449. My review basically said, this product is awesome, but at $450, there's a lot of competition that's also awesome. Well, earlier this year, they lowered the price to this to $350. And then they said, hey, Sean, we love your reviews. We want to give you special pricing just for your Breaking 80 readers. And so they lowered it to $280. And at $280, there just hasn't been anything that comes even close to what this provides. So it's become my best overall pick. Today, that may or may not be changing. A couple years ago, I also reviewed the Voice Caddie SL3. So this is their top of the line $600 hybrid GPS rangefinder. So not only is it an excellent laser rangefinder, but there's a screen on the back of it so you get all of your GPS data as well. You can see exactly how far it is to different points on the course. You can get green heat maps. You can keep score. You can see expected driver distance. There are all sorts of extra high-tech features they've built into this that make it a really powerful rangefinder. But $600 is a lot of money. And so it's made this tough to recommend because I just don't think most people need to spend that much money on a rangefinder. But in this video, we're talking about the SL2, which has been out for like 3 or 4 years. And why would we be talking about that when there's a much newer version? Because the differences between these are negligible. They're almost the same device. Yet this one you can get for $260, and this one is $600. So what are the differences between the SL2 and the SL3? Well, the SL3 has a slightly different design. They both have a beautiful, luxurious leather padding. I think these are basically the two best laser rangefinders on the market, period. I just think they look amazing. They were modeled after a luxury yacht. So you get like this teak wood accent, white leather. I mean, they just look really, really good. So on the SL3, there's been a few refinements. You get a little bit more of a subtle sloping up top that looks really good. They added a piece of clear plastic around the viewfinder. They changed the color, but by and large, these are pretty much the same. Now, when it comes to features, also pretty much the same. I don't want to like blow up Voice Caddie's spot because obviously when you release new products, you want there to be upgrades. But as I understand it, these have the exact same laser. They are essentially the exact same laser rangefinder device. So while I said this has a beautiful 2-color OLED screen when you look through the viewfinder and is very accurate, this has the exact same thing. The major differences between these two devices mostly come in the form of green view on the screen. The SL3 has enhanced green view mode, which essentially just allows you to better see the breaks on a putting green. And to be honest, I don't use that feature much. I think that green heat maps and seeing the breaks, like it's all cool tech, but whether it's a Garmin watch or a Voice Caddie rangefinder or a Voice Caddie watch, I feel like it's not actually that useful of a feature when you're on the course. So if the only major thing that's different between this is a feature that I don't really use anyway, then to be able to get this for less than half the price is a no-brainer. But the question is, are either of these devices actually good? How do they work as a rangefinder? Well, let's talk about it. So the packaging on the SL2, when you open it up, it looks great. It looks every bit of the $550 price point, which is what this was originally released at. I also love the fact they include a pretty standard black leather rangefinder case. The SL3 comes with a white case that's just a little bit over the top for me, so I prefer the more subtle case on the SL2. In the box, you have that nice case, you have the device itself, you have an instruction manual, you have a microfiber cloth to keep it clean, as well as a USB-C charging cord. Yes, USB-C, which these days is kind of standard with all smart rangefinders. I don't love USB-C. I personally would rather see a removable battery because I got plenty of things to charge. I usually forget to charge things like a rangefinder, and so that isn't my favorite. The good news with this is the rangefinder does last a long time. So if you're just using the laser and not using the GPS features, it's rated for 45 hours. So that's gonna last you a lot of rounds. If you are using the GPS, it's rated for 20 hours, which is tracking with where I've been. I've now played 4 rounds with this and I have not charged it once, so I need to make sure I go charge it before my next round. That being said, it's not like you have to charge it every single round. So I think for most people, the USB-C charging isn't gonna be a big deal, and I know some of you will honestly probably prefer it. Hey, real quick, are you still confused and not sure which golf rangefinder is right for you? Go take our 30-second quiz. You're gonna answer a few questions around what you were looking for, and I will give you my best recommendation on the device that best fits your needs. You can go click that link below to take the quiz while you watch the rest of this video. All right, back to it. As I mentioned before, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. It feels super premium, it feels super high-end, and even though it's the older version, like I said, it looks just like the newer version, and that's better than most other rangefinders out there. It just looks sleek, it looks sexy, it looks luxurious. That luxurious experience is also carried forward when you are using it. When you look through the viewfinder, it's got a very high quality 6x magnification. You know that I do prefer 7x, but honestly, there just aren't that many rangefinders out there that have it, and you don't really notice it being an issue with this because the optics are so high quality. Even better, the display inside here is a 2-color OLED screen and looks awesome. So when you lock onto the flag, along with vibrating, it'll light up green, which looks really good. You can shift through the modes so that there's more or less information displayed, but when you're using the general slope mode, I have found that at times it's a little busy, there's a lot in there, and that's also the same for the TL1 as well as the SL3. But by and large, it looks beautiful, it's high-end, the display is great. The one big knock I have is that it's red all the time, so there's no option to switch to a generic black display. There were times in really, really bright sunlight that the red just wasn't quite bright enough for me, or the contrast with the landscape just made it slightly hard to read. It wasn't a huge deal, it didn't affect me getting my numbers, but I do wish I had a little bit more control over the brightness of that red display, as well as the option to just have black. From a performance standpoint, just as a laser rangefinder, it works great. It's very fast and seems to lock onto the flag really well. There's definitely been a handful of occasions and tricky situations where it has to hunt for the flag a little bit, but generally speaking, those moments were pretty few and far between, and overall, this is really reliable and got me the numbers I needed quickly and easily. So just on its own, if you just wanted to use this as a laser rangefinder, it's pretty much better than anything else you will find at that price point. I will say the Voice Caddie TL1 is $20 more, but if you are looking for just a rangefinder and you do not care about the smart features, I probably like this one a little bit better. The neoprene cover makes it really easy to use, really easy to grip, and you don't worry about it in inclement conditions. This one also has a built-in magnet where the SL2 does not, and the TL1 also has a very easy slope on-off mode. So if you're a competitive or tournament player and you need a device where you can make sure you are not in slope mode and you're not accidentally going to go back to slope mode, this is definitely the better one to get. Although I suppose that last comment wasn't fair because even though there's not an external button that you could accidentally switch on or off for tournament mode or slope mode, you can easily go into the menu system, select tournament mode, and it's going to take all of that additional help away. But if you're the average person, you like tech, you want all the help you can get essentially the same laser experience, the same accuracy, plus all the benefits of GPS. So the screen on the front here is going to be a similar experience to what you would find on a GPS watch. You swipe to unlock, you say you're ready to play golf, the satellites hunt for the course that's near you, you select the course, you select the tees, and away you go. Overall, it's very easy to set up and it's pretty easy to use on the course. I will say there was times I wish the screen was a little bit brighter. In really bright sunlight, it kind of became hard to see at times. Also, the graphics aren't as good as what you're gonna find on, say, a high-end Garmin watch, but they definitely get the job done. So you're gonna be able to see a GPS overview of every hole, you're gonna be able to easily get hazard distances, and you can tell it what your average drive is, and it'll add a line across the fairway to show you where you expect to be. So while personally I have other GPS solutions I use, whether it's Arcos on my phone or a GPS watch, the screen isn't necessarily that useful for me. However, if you don't use an additional GPS device, having all of that information right here at the tip of your fingers with the rangefinder is honestly super useful, super cool, especially at this price point. So let's talk about price. Earlier I mentioned this was $259. So when this first came out, $549. If you go to their website right now, you will see a sale price of $399. Well, they came to me and they said, hey, we love what you've done with our other devices. We love what you've done with your rangefinders. We want to offer you, just your readers, nobody else, a special price of $259 for this, which honestly just blows my mind. Getting this level of build quality, getting this level of performance, and giving this level of tech at this price point, Like there's just nothing else out there that does that. Yes, there are other devices that kind of fit a different use case or a different niche that might be better for some people, but for the average person who wants a super premium product at a price that isn't insane, this is kind of it. Like this is as good as it gets. As I mentioned, the TL1, 280, the SL2, 260, kind of two separate people. If you just want a rangefinder, you don't care about any of the tech stuff, I would go with the TL1 because it's just a little beefier, feels better in the hand, a little more robust. This is just a really solid traditional rangefinder. But if you like the tech, if you like the GPS features, if you like the aesthetics of it, where even though it's not quite as robust, I definitely think it looks cooler, or you just want to save an extra 20 bucks and essentially have the same laser performance, then get the SL2. I don't know how long they're going to offer this price, but I'm shooting this at the end of October 2024, and it's going to be up for, I would imagine, at least through the end of the year. So if you're looking for a killer deal on a great rangefinder that's essentially the exact same, almost the exact same, as one that costs 600 bucks, go get the SL2. It's one of the best deals of the year. My name's Sean Ogle. I'm the founder of this thing here at Breaking 80, where we talk about cool golf products, cool golf courses, and if you got some value out of this, maybe hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. And if you have questions around any of these rangefinders or how they compare to any other products in the market, I have probably used it, so feel free to drop a comment below, and I'll do my best to answer every single one. If you're still not sure which golf rangefinder is right for you, go take our 30-second quiz. We're gonna answer a few questions about what you were looking for, and I will give you my best recommendation on the one that's the best fit for your needs. I hope you have an excellent day, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.